Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be born into a world that doesn't want you? To open your eyes for the first time and realize you're the wrong color, the wrong shape, the wrong everything? Well, buckle up, because today's story will break your heart before it puts it back together again. Pictor this, the African wilderness, at dawn. Everything's bathed in that impossible golden light that makes photographers weep with joy. Birds are singing their morning songs, and the air smells like wild grass and distant rain. It's the kind of moment that reminds you why life is worth living. But under a thorny acacia tree, hidden from the world, something extraordinary is happening. Something that occurs maybe once in a generation, if you're lucky. A lioness named Aya has just endured 16 brutal hours of labor. 16 hours. Let that sink in for a moment. She's exhausted, bleeding, every muscle in her body screaming for rest. But there's no time for that because she's got 3 tiny cubs to take care of. 3 perfect little bundles of life that need her immediately. She starts cleaning them, one by one, her rough tongue wiping away the blood and birth fluid. The first cub looks exactly right. Pale golden fur with those adorable dark spots on the forehead. Eyes still sealed shut. Little paws kneading the air. Perfect. The second cub? Same thing. Another healthy, normal lion cub. But when Aya turns to the third one, she stops. Just freezes completely. This cub is different. His fur isn't golden. It isn't tan or cream or any shade of normal lion coloring. It's white, pure, snow white, like someone took a bucket of bleach and painted over nature's blueprint. And Aya, bless her heart, doesn't know what to make of it. Now, 15 miles away, there's a guy named Daniel Hayes. He's been a wildlife ranger for 15 years. 15 years of tracking elephants, documenting leopards, watching the endless cycle of life and death play out on these ancient plains. He thought he'd seen it all, thought nothing could surprise him anymore. Boy, was he wrong. Through his binoculars, Daniel spots something that makes his hands shake. That white cub. He knows immediately what he's looking at because he's read about them, dreamed about them, but never thought he'd actually see one. A white lion cub. Not albino, mind you, but loose. A genetic rarity so uncommon that you're more likely to get struck by lightning twice than stumble upon one in the wild. Most of them exist in zoos or breeding programs. In the actual savannah, almost unheard of. Daniel's mind rises. Is this incredible luck or terrible tragedy? Because here's the thing about nature that most people don't understand. Nature doesn't care about rare or special or miraculous. Nature cares about survival. And that white coat, that's not a blessing. That's a target painted on a helpless baby's back. Back at the den, Aya continues her motherly duties. She nudges each cub toward her belly, guiding them to nurse. The 2 golden cubs latch on immediately, strong and eager. But the white one? He's struggling. He's smaller than his siblings, weaker, his little body trembling with the effort of just existing, while his brother and sister are already making tiny growling sounds and pushing against each other. He can barely lift his head. And then ... The rest of the pride shows up. 5 more lionesses. 2 massive males, all drawn by the scent of new life. This is usually a joyful moment in lion society. New cubs mean the pride continues. The bloodline survives. Everyone comes to sniff, to approve, to welcome the babies into the family. The pride gathers around. They examine the first 2 cubs, sniffing gently, making soft approval sounds deep in their throats. These cubs are good. These cubs are right. But when they get to the white one, everything changes. The atmosphere shifts like a storm cloud rolling in. Kira, the pride's lead female and Aya's older sister, pulls her head back sharply. Her nose wrinkles. Another lioness actually growls, low and disturbed. A third backs away completely, as if the cub might be contagious. You can almost hear their thoughts. What is this? This isn't right. This is doble wrong, dangerous. Through his camera lens, Daniel captures every moment. His excitement battles with a growing sense of dread. He's witnessed enough of nature's harsh reality to know where this story might be headed. In the animal kingdom, different doesn't mean special. Different means weak. Different means prey. Different means death. The days crawl by slowly. 1 week becomes 2, becomes 3. The golden cubs are thriving, hitting every milestone right on schedule. Their eyes open to reveal that cloudy blue color all baby lions have. They start stumbling around on shaky legs, getting stronger by the hour. They pounce on their mother's tail, wrestle with each other. Practice the tiny roars that will someday shake the earth. But the white cub, he's falling behind. Always the last to wake up, the last to eat, the last to join in playtime. And when he does try to play, his siblings, well, they're not exactly welcoming. They shove him aside, ignore him when he tries to initiate play. Sometimes they actually growl at him, mimicking the adult's disapproval. Cubs learn by watching, after all. Then comes the real test. Hunting lessons. This is when lion cubs start learning the skills that will keep them alive as adults. How to move silently, how to read the wind, how to become invisible in the tall grass. The pride takes the cubs out to watch their first hunt. It's a disaster from the start. The golden cubs instinctively understand what to do. They crouch low, their tawny coats blending perfectly with the dry golden grass of the savanna. They're practically invisible, even though they're just babies learning the ropes. But the white cub, he might as well be waving a flag. His snowy coat stands out like a beacon against the amber landscape. Every prey animal within half a mile can see him coming. The gazelles spot the pride early. They bolt. The hunt fails before it even begins. Bellies remain empty, tempers flare, and every eye in that pride turns toward the small white figure sitting confused in the grass, wondering why everyone's angry. Even Aya feels it. The frustration, the resentment. She tries. She really does. Because he's her baby. But she has also got 2 other cubs who are strong and capable and won't get the pride killed. The math is brutal and simple. Keep the white cub and everyone suffers. Remove him and the pride survives. Daniel records everything in his field journal. Day 35. He writes. His handwriting shaky. The pride is turning against him. I can see it happening. The mother's caught between instinct and love, and I think instinct is winning. Aya starts making choices, small ones. At first, she nurses the white cub, but only when her sisters aren't watching. She cleans him, but quickly. Without the leisurely affection she shows his siblings. She teaches the golden cubs to hunt, but leaves him back at the den more often than not. The message is clear, even if unspoken. You're not part of this. You don't belong. The white cub doesn't understand why. He just knows he's alone. He watches from a distance as his family plays, hunts, bonds. He cries out sometimes, those heartbreaking baby sounds that should melt any mother's resolve. Sometimes, Aya comes to him. Sometimes she doesn't. And then everything falls apart. The white cub gets sick. It starts with lethargy, then fever. Then he just stops moving. He lies in the shade of a rock, panting, his white coat now dull and matted. Aya stays with him for an entire day and night, licking him, trying to get him to drink water, to nurse, to just please keep breathing. But the pride has had enough. Kira approaches Aya with hard eyes. The message is delivered without words, but it's unmistakable. Choose. Him or us. Your strange white cub or your family. Your love or our survival. The next morning comes wrapped in mist. Everything's gray and ghostly, sounds muffled, visibility low. Aya gently picks up her white cub by the scruff of his neck. He's so weak, he doesn't even struggle. She carries him far from their territory, past the boundaries the pride patrols, into land that belongs to no one. She finds a spot, some grass, a little shade. She sets him down carefully, and for a moment, she just stares at him. Does she feel regret? Relief? Both. We'll never know. The cub cries out, a tiny, desperate sound. Don't leave me. Please, don't leave me. Mom, I need you. But Aya turns away. One paw in front of the other. She doesn't look back. Can't look back. She walks into the mist until it swallows her completely, and her white cub's cries fade into silence. 3 days pass. 3 days of scorching sun and cold nights. 3 days with no food, no water, no protection. By the time Daniel finds him, the cub is barely alive. He's nothing but bones and matted fur, curled up under a rock's meager shade. Daniel almost doesn't see him because he's so still, but then the cub lifts his head. His eyes, those striking blue eyes, meet Daniel's. And in that moment, Daniel sees something he'll never forget. Not just an animal, not just a dying cub, but a soul, a consciousness, a desperate, wordless plea. Please, one more chance, just one more. One more. Daniel kneels in the dust. Every rule of his profession screams at him to walk away. Don't interfere. Let nature take its course. Human intervention corrupts the natural order. He's heard it 1,000 times, believed it himself for years. But right now, kneeling in front of this dying cub, those rules feel hollow. Because here's what Daniel knows that the textbooks don't talk about. Lions are vanishing. Their numbers have dropped by half in the last 25 years. Habitat loss, poaching, disease, it's all pushing them toward the edge. Every lion matters now, every single one. And this cub, he's weak, yes. He's different, yes. But he's also a fighter. He survived birth, survived rejection, survived 3 days alone in one of the harshest environments on Earth. That white coat might make him visible to prey, but it also makes him a symbol. Proof that nature still has surprises left. Proof that life finds a way, even when the odds are impossible. The cub makes a sound. Not a roar, not even really a growl, just a soft, breathy plea. The sound of someone who's fought as hard as they can and is asking, just one more time, for help, for mercy, for a miracle. Daniel's hands hover over the cub. He thinks about rules and regulations, about nature's wisdom and human hubris, about all the reasons he should leave this cub to die as nature intended. But then he thinks about something else, about the fact that humans created this problem in the first place, that lions are endangered because of us, that maybe, just maybe, it's okay to tip the scales back toward life instead of death. So what does Daniel do? Does he walk away and let the savannah claim another victim? Or does he reach down, scoop up that tiny white bundle, and decide that today, hope wins? That choice, that impossible, beautiful, terrible choice, that's what makes us human, isn't it? The ability to look at nature's harsh judgment and say, not today. Today we choose compassion. If this story moved you, if you felt that cubs struggle in your own heart, drop a comment and let me know. And hey, stick around. Because the best stories, the ones that really matter, they're always about second chances, about the moments when everything's lost and someone decides to care anyway. See you in the next one.